if we were at odds on something.
That's true.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the Upper Darby Shade Tree Commission meeting. It's January 5th, 2023, 7 p.m. I'm Evan Hunt. We also have Mike Atwell to my left. We're both on the Shade Tree Commission. And we have Josh and Leah from Upper Darby L&I. Absent is the chair of the commission, Dolores Lombardi, because unfortunately Dolores resigned from the commission back in December for personal reasons. And I guess before we get into the meeting, we wanted to say a couple things.
Yeah, before we get into the meeting, I think it's a good time to look back a little bit on some of the things we accomplished in 2022, and I'm not really going to talk about those things so much, but it's the right time since we're a commission of two now to formally thank Dolores Lombardi for her service to the Township of Upper Darby. As both the tree tender and the chair of this tree commission, she really poured her effort, intensity, knowledge, energy, friendship, and care for the township into all of those efforts as a tree tender and as a tree commissioner. And as a result, Upper Darby is a far better place to work and play and live because of Dolores's efforts. She's a doer. She's not somebody who just complains from the sidelines, but instead she acts. And she's made things better, and she inspires others to join. I mean, I was really fortunate to join this commission with Dolores and to be able to draw on her experience and her talent. And it takes people like Dolores to make Upper Darby the growing, vibrant, beautiful place that it is today and that it aspires to be in the future. So she's going to continue to be involved with tree tenders, and I'm sure we'll be in contact with Dolores. And just wanted to do a formal thank you for everything you've done for the township. And it's not the kind of a role that gets a lot of exposure in any way, but it's been so important, and I know Dolores has understood that, and just want to thank her for everything as township residents. So thanks, Dolores. It's great.
Yeah, like you said, Dolores has been very inspirational for me too. I don't think I would be here if I didn't meet Dolores when I was first getting into this kind of stuff. Yeah, she's been a huge inspiration, especially, I mean, you could look to the Westchester Pike Median for
Right.
perfect example of all the work she's done, all the advocacy she's been involved in for green spaces in Upper Darby. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad you could make it tonight. All right, I guess we'll get into, or did you want to say anything, Josh, about anything?
No, just, thank you for all of your time and all of your volunteering and skill that you brought to the commission. You'll be sorely missed, but we'll look forward to working with you in other capacities.
That's great. That's great.
Absolutely. Do you guys want to talk about just what you're going to do for acting for now?
Yeah, I guess I'll be the acting chair for this meeting, and then
And then just to be clear, any matters that come to a vote that tie are technically not passed.
all right, thanks.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so for the agenda tonight, I guess first thing is the
Yeah,
minutes from the November meeting.
right. I got a chance to read through them. Did you look through them?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, did you have any changes or any issues or corrections?
Yeah, I had a couple of things. Well, there's a small typo on G.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
That's the first. And then the only other thing was the meeting times. Did we ever write down, because I remember we talked about skipping a couple meetings this year. Did we write down which ones those were? Because I don't remember.
December and August, we're
That's what I thought.
not meeting in December and August.
Could we
yeah.
add that to the minutes? That we're skipping December and August.
Can we add the note either for the November notes or maybe to include in tonight's notes that we will not meet in December and August of 2023?
Okay. We can
Which-
add that into
Okay.
these notes.
Okay.
Or actually, did we discuss? No, I'm sorry, we should do it we'll adjust the previous minutes, because that's when we voted on the 2023 calendar. So
Right,
I will
right.
put that in, make sure that's clear, because you guys did vote on that.
That's great.
So December and August, right?
Yes.
Okay. I believe those dates, right, weren't included, but it is good to be explicit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Where was the typo?
In G, the title of G,
E.
memorial trees,
Oh, yes.
that's it.
All right, we'll make that correction as well.
Do you have anything?
I didn't have anything else.
Okay, I'll move to approve the minutes with those two corrections.
Second, the motion,
Any opposed?
none.
Okay. Minutes are passed.
Great.
Approved. All right. The second thing was reorganization and recognition. I think you put that on here.
We did
Josh?
that.
We did that? All right. All right. Next thing was the PHS tree checkers, which we were supposed to do for the trees we planted in the fall. We were supposed to do it by December 31st, but we never did. So I sent them an email and said that we would try and do it in January.
Mhm.
And I guess historically, like just you and I and Dolores went out and did the checking. So I
Mhm.
don't know. Are you good to do that sometime in
I'm
January?
definitely good to do that. It's a little bit of a question, like, would that include the trees on the trail along the creek that we planted that the sewer department is like having some issues with? Because,
Well, yeah, we'll have to check those eventually, but I think for January, we just need to check the ones that we did
okay,
in the fall.
like the parks, 69th Street, those,
Yeah, they were like spread all over the
Okay, okay.
place.
yeah, but that's no problem for me.
Okay.
So we'll,
Yeah, we'll figure that
we
out.
can take that.
Remember the 6 free trees we got last summer?
Mm-hmm.
They had a category of free trees. I could check them. They're in Ellenville Park. I know where they are.
Great.
Just the 6.
Yeah, we could check those too.
If you want, I'm still signed
Yep.
up with the tree check.
Oh, that's great.
I'll take those 6 trees. You don't have to worry about
All
it.
right.
Thank you. That's
Because
terrific.
I still have some of those diaper bags,
Yes.
and 6 of them should go around
Mm-hmm.
those trees. And then I have some extra. I'll give them to you later.
Terrific. Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on here was freed seedlings from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. This was, Stephen brought this to our attention. He gets free, like, little tiny saplings from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, and he offered to order some for us. They're free. The only, like, stipulation is you have to plant them. They have to be, like, used to improve watershed, like water quality, so like riparian areas. But yeah, we could get like probably like 25 or 50 trees is what he estimated. Like, you're not guaranteed trees because it's kind of like first come, first serve.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to put the order in probably in like February if we wanted to get trees. I mean, they'd probably have to end up going in a park somewhere. So we'd have to, he said he had like suggestions for places.
Okay.
So we'd have to figure that out. And then I guess we'd have to involve the public works guys
Right.
if we're
right.
doing like a job in a park.
Should we meet with him sometime this month to get his ideas on locations and things like that?
With Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah, we we should do that. 'Cause I don't know what places he has in mind.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know, did you have like any places in mind or like any thoughts on
I
that?
don't know. Yeah.
I think it'd be fine if we got like a couple pallets of seedlings and yeah, they would be put in the nursery and I think
Mhm.
Steven would care for them for a bit. But the idea would be I think we'd plant them in the fall probably.
Okay. Okay. Is that when they would arrive? Would they?
No, I think he said they would arrive in like March. And
Hmm.
so they would care for them over the summer, and then we'd plant them
I
in the
see.
fall.
Okay.
Yeah, they would come like March, this
Mhm.
March.
Well, the nice thing about those saplings like that is they're quick to plant.
Yeah, they're really easy to plant, and they come with tubes and stakes
Oh,
from
that's
the
great.
Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
Yep, that's nice.
So, all right, I guess we can move forward with that. We'll ask Steven like what he has in mind, and then
Is it okay for us to meet with Stephen outside of a public meeting like this?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. It just makes it easier.
Just, if you're going to throw together a planting plan and
Right.
if you're going to pay for them.
Yep.
Right. I mean, if he wants to privately get them,
Mm-hmm,
that's fine.
okay.
yeah, they're free. Like Chesapeake Bay Foundation provides them for free as long as you use them
Okay.
in like a riparian area.
Mm-hmm. So that would probably just entail some documentation, photographs, or I don't know what, something like that, probably, right?
What do you mean?
Of how we use the trees.
Oh, I don't know actually.
Okay,
I
fine.
never.
We'll cover that with him. Okay.
All right, that's all I have.
Would the order be before the next meeting in February?
I don't, because we meet like early in the month now, right?
Yep.
So I would say it's probably after our next meeting.
We can always, if there's any definitive things you want to do regarding that, you could always do it at the next meeting.
That's good.
All right,
Mhm.
sounds good.
So offline, you and I will connect with Steven somewhere,
Yeah.
put something together. Great. That's really good, though.
All right, the next thing we wanted to talk about was a PHS Advanced Pruning Workshop on January 28th. That's supposed to happen somewhere in Upper Darby. We don't have the location figured out, but that's nice that they thought of us as a place to host a
Yeah.
training.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to show like how robust our tree tenders are.
Oh, that is really great.
But yeah, I mean, there was talk about getting some of the guys from the township crew
Mm-hmm.
to go that. Because I know they went to a PHS training last year, and that one was like specifically for township employees.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't think it's specifically for township crews. It's more for like tree
No.
tenders.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see why they can't go.
Mhm.
So that was just something else to bring up with Joe Martin, see if
Okay.
anyone wanted to attend that training on January 28th.
Please.
I went to one of the, okay, well, all right, fine. This is,
And yeah, just hit the button. Yep.
This is Dolores Lombardi from South Kirkland Avenue, Upper Darby. I'm a tree tender. I actually attended the PHS Advanced Pruning Workshop, I don't know, 6 years ago or so. And it would be very good for, I think, including the township workers, because they need to prune trees. So they go over a lot.
Mhm.
And I think we had the director of Morris Arboretum teach pruning. So I don't know if they will now, but it could be for anybody. But definitely, a lot of the young trees need pruning, and even when they're pruning the more mature trees, they
Right.
need to know things about how to cut them, about not cutting out too much and things like that. So I think it would be great for if as many that could go, would go.
Is it a daytime event?
Yeah, it's during the day.
During the day,
But yeah, I
okay.
agree. It would be great if some of them could get out there and go. And I think it is the guy from Morris Arboretum again. I forget his name, but I think he's leading it.
And ideally Jen Heath, right? Like
Yeah,
as
sure.
someone that works with them as well. Okay, that's good. So we'll talk to Joe about that. I've got that as an action item.
Cool. All right. And the next thing was the grant update. Did you want to give an update on the TD Bank? grant
Yeah,
that
we submitted the application for the TD Bank grant for trees, sidewalk cuts, and ancillary materials for 69th Street planting. I think we'll get some preliminary feedback later this month. And so we're in a little bit of just a waiting stage right now, but as part of the grant application, we kind of spelled out how the township is working on kind of updating 69th Street, right? Doing some building, some installation of benches and bike racks and different things. And we kind of tied together the idea that it's an effort to kind of just give a little bit of an upgrade to 69th Street. So in addition to like benches for just shoppers to sit and places to lock bikes, but trees and the tree pits would be like a huge, not just aesthetic benefit, but obviously the heat island benefit. And so we included some aspects of like the local economic picture as part of the grant application. So it's pretty thorough. But in fairness to TD Bank, they were kind of very specific in the questions they asked in the application process. So in answering them, we were able to tie like these kind of events together, also with having like a contest for painting the signal boxes on 69th Street to highlight, the benefits of trees and different things like that. So I felt like it was a strong application, and so we'll see what TD Bank thinks probably later this month. But I think we felt like good about our application. We didn't have to rush it, and it ended up being like in the neighborhood of about $18,000. And TD puts a limit of 20K on it, so that's where it is right now.
And they're supposed to get back in January?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that was a good exercise for
Mhm.
us. to
It was a
figure
good
out
exercise,
things
like,
that.
it was a good exercise to really kind of walk some areas of the township too, and like, what do we need? And we kind of, sometimes we feel like we know what we need, but it was helpful for us, like the three of us, to kind of walk around and look around at the commercial hub of the township, right? So, so if that came through, or even part of it came through, it'd be great.
Yeah, and we're always looking for other grant opportunities. So if
Right.
anyone has any ideas, you can let us know.
Uh,
That would be
That's
great.
great. Mhm.
All right, and then the last thing on here was the ordinance update.
Mhm.
And I don't know, maybe Laura could give us the update. It seems like she knows more about what's going on than I do.
Hi, I'm Laura Wentz, Vice President of Council. And last night at our council meeting, I had made sure that all the council members had gotten a copy of your updated ordinance with the proposed tree removal and planting application forms as well. I realized that it could pertain to any number of the committees on council. So I wanted to make sure all council members, all the different committees had an opportunity to meet and discuss it. I know that I'm the chair of the finance committee and the zoning board committee. I think your ordinance pertains to both of them. So I'm going to try and schedule some meetings next week. And we would love to, they'll be via Zoom. I'd love to be able to invite you guys to come and take part on that, to be able to answer any questions if that works for you.
Sure.
Type of thing. But I wanted to make sure that all council members had an opportunity to really look it over before we actually put it on the agenda for introduction. And so when it comes time to do that, then there should be an opportunity for you to give a presentation. There were some questions when I first shared it with some people about, and I think the questions pertain to not understanding trees, right? You understand trees, I understand trees, tree tenders understand trees. Most people don't understand trees, right? And then one of the most common complaint or concern we hear is about the roots of the trees getting into their pipes, right? Where they don't understand it's not really those roots from the trees getting into the pipes, it's the weeds if there was a crack, right? And maybe tree roots made it all the way down there. But like if you do, you know, when you do a presentation, if you can, I know Bonnie Hallam had this really good PowerPoint with how, you know, an image of where the tree roots grow
Mhm.
versus where the pipes are. Like that would be amazing because I think people need to understand that the tree roots are much closer to the ground surface than the sewer pipes and everything else that's underneath. And using your ordinance as a way to educate council as well as the residents on what Shade Tree Commission does, you know, what the tree line, the shade trees that are between the street and the curb and the sidewalk. Like I have one of those trees. It's a sycamore tree. It's an amazing tree. It's a gift. It gives me gifts all year round. My neighbors, not so thrilled. But I love my tree and it's got to be at least 100 years old. It's beautiful. It's healthy. And it gives me shade and my house is not as hot in the summertime as it would be if the tree wasn't there. Or I don't get as much water in my basement as I would if my tree wasn't there. So there's a lot of things like that that people don't understand. So, you know, it's, you know, a great opportunity for you guys to educate us all about shade trees and so forth by doing a presentation for council. So,
That'd be great.
you know, we'll make sure that you know exactly what's going on and when it goes on the agenda and so forth. It's just, you know, best case scenario, it happens in 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, it happens in February. If people need more, if more committees need more time to discuss it.
Would the Environment Committee need it as well? There is an Environment Committee, right?
The mayor has the environmental, the one that Bonnie's ahead of,
Okay.
the Environmental Advisory Committee. So
Okay.
unless you guys want to send it to them, just, you know, so they're aware of,
Seem,
you know, the
yeah.
proposed ordinance, you know, that's also another way to bring the different commissions together. So,
Great.
okay.
Yep.
And I know I sent you guys, I don't know if you had a chance to see the email I sent you, just giving you an update of what I had done and what would, you know, I don't know if you saw that email.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for unofficially introducing it. And yeah, I'd be happy to come to any of the committee meetings and answer questions, talk about the ordinance. And yeah, doing a presentation would be a good idea. We'll have to put something together.
Has Kilkenny, or have there been like changes to it since we saw it last, or?
I don't
know.
believe so. Dolores had sent me yours this summer, and then we got into the budget season, and everything was on a hold through budget season. And now that we've ended our 5 weeks of a meeting every week, time period for council, we get to breathe and hopefully do, you know, work on other ordinances. So that's part of the reason why I put it, I had it in everyone's folders so that we could start the conversation, knowing that it wasn't necessarily going to move right away, but so that we had some time to work on it.
Great.
So, and then Mayor Keffer had mentioned that your meeting was tonight, which worked out well, that we could come and talk to you about it. So,
You mentioned like educating us all, and I don't feel like I'm a special expert. I've been around trees, tree planting, horticulture, gardening and stuff. But I was thinking a good use of this commission's effort could be to hold like lunch and learns or educational things for people in the township to experience things like this pruning thing or something. Maybe it would be in partnership with the Horticultural Society or something, so that maybe we can kind of raise all the boats of folks in Upper Darby's understanding of like do's and don'ts and, you know, what works and things like that. I think, because, you know, I think that could be part of our mission for the, you know, for our group. It wouldn't be during, you know, meeting time, but to try to, even just a couple a year, you
right.
know?
Well, I think anything that you do would be amazing in that regard, and know that you still know more than the average person.
Yeah, right.
And your planting and what you've done for the plantings, what you did for the grant, figuring out what you needed for the grant, all of that Dolores talking about the tree diaper bags.
Yeah.
People don't know what they
I know.
are, or how to stop the lantern flies from killing and eating our trees, right?
Yep.
Or there's something else that's turning trees white, pure white, and killing them. It's things like that, the things that people don't realize or don't
Yeah.
know how to stop. And if
Right.
you guys can do trainings, that would be really amazing.
It'd be fun.
So, yeah, awesome. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you guys want, you have, money in the budget you could use for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that
Which
tree
it's
tenders talk about.
mostly free, but except if you wanted to get like food and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean-
the tree tenders talk about that a lot,
Yeah.
like doing educational stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be good if we could work
We
with
have a
them on
great, we have a
something.
great room here with AV and, or we could do stuff out in the field or whatever, but I mean, when you're just a few people trying to get all this stuff done, it seems like, like kind of taking Dolores's approach and, getting other people involved and getting the residents a little bit more information on what works and what doesn't, I think could go a long way. Great.
All right. Yeah, were there any other questions or comments about anything? Public comment time.
Dolores Lombardi again. I don't know if you've received it, but usually the PHS trees are ordered in February and they come in the spring. So I know it's just after Christmas and you just did a lot, but you might be thinking this month about what you could plant in the spring, even if it's a smaller amount, and you'd push, because I know you're waiting on this grant to see what you might be doing next fall. But just to let you know that you'll probably should be, I think it might get sent to you, Josh, now, the PHS order.
Okay.
And last year it was due in early February.
Okay.
So you probably could approve it next month.
Very
All
good.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dolores. And that's a great opportunity. If you're not familiar, the PHS trees are fantastic. They're beautiful specimens, bare root specimens, really big, nice, healthy trees that as a resident, you would be, hard pressed to find specimens like that for under a few $100s at a local, yard. So it's a good opportunity. So we'll certainly take advantage of that.
Yeah, and if anyone has suggestions for places to put those trees, we're
Yes.
definitely open.
Actually, yeah, and it's probably a good time to start thinking about, just our city parks, like, cause my wife and I walk through Naylor's Run often. We live like near the YMCA, so we'll walk up through Naylor's Run, up those steps into Beverly Hills, and there's some, it's a great park, but there's some trees there that look like they could be nearing the end of their lives, and so some of those PHS trees might be used in our city parks as well as, like the trail or other things that we've done before those trees are gone. So the newly planted ones would have a few years to kind of get started.
Anything else?
Any new business or any other?
I'm gonna be getting the Tree City USA stuff together in this upcoming month. It's due in February.
Oh,
That's important.
I have one more. Okay, I'm still in possession of the Tree City USA sign that was in Allison's office. I'll reach out to Jennifer again, because we were talking about having that erected, I think, on Westchester Pike, like where, like as you're coming probably from the transit center right outward, it's like welcome to Upper Darby, right? That, the beautiful Westchester Pike with the plantings and stuff. So, so I'll work on that in this next cycle.
Oh, you reminded me of something else. Josh, did you ever get the invoice from Redbud? Did you
Yeah.
pay that?
Yep, that all got paid in the 2022 budget.
All right, cool. I was just
Nice.
checking.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for Josh's help all year last year with everything. No, seriously, he helps us with the meetings, with our rules of order, with managing payment of bills and stuff like that. So thanks.
Happy to
Josh.
help.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Second the motion. All in favor? 2 ayes.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Meeting adjourned.